Open your banking app right now and look at what landed in your account last payday. Now compare that to the number on your contract, the number you were promised when you took the job. The gap between those two figures is not an accident. It is not a glitch. It is the system working exactly as designed. If you earn a salary in the UK anywhere between 50 and 100,000 pounds, you are working from January until May for HMRC before you earn a single penny for yourself. 5 months, every year, for the taxman. But here is what almost nobody tells you. The wealthiest people in this country do not do this. They are not working 5 months for HMRC. Some of them are barely working 5 days for HMRC, and they are not breaking a single law to do it. They use a strategy so simple it can be described in 3 words: buy, borrow, die. Today I am going to show you exactly how it works, why the system was deliberately built this way, the hidden tax trap that catches people earning 6 figures, which almost nobody understands until it hits them, and what you can actually do about all of it, starting from wherever you are right now. Let us start with why you are losing. If you earn a salary in this country, the tax system is pointed directly at you. Income tax, national insurance, student loan repayments if you have one, all of it comes off before the money ever reaches your account. You never even get to hold it. Earn over £50,270 and every additional pound is taxed at 40%. Earn over $125,000 and it rises to 45%. Add national insurance on top and your effective rate on those upper slices is pushing past 50%. In real terms, if you earn £80,000 a year, which puts you in the top 5% of earners in the United Kingdom, you take home roughly £54,000, £26,000. Gone every single year. That is a house deposit. Every year, taken before you wake up on the 1st of January. And people earning 10 or 20 times your salary are very often paying a lower effective tax rate than you are. Not through crime, not through offshore accounts in shady jurisdictions, simply because they do not earn their money as a salary. That one distinction, how the money arrives, matters more than almost anything else in the entire tax system. Now, before we get to what the wealthy do, I need to show you 2 hidden mechanisms that are quietly making everything worse for ordinary earners. The first you may have heard of. The second is the one HMRC really does not advertise. The first is fiscal drag. The tax thresholds, the points at which you start paying higher rates, have been frozen since 2021, and they are staying frozen until at least 2028 and beyond. But inflation has not been frozen. Your wages have crept up to keep pace with the cost of living, and every year that creep pushes a little more of your income over a threshold that has not moved. The Office for Budget Responsibility estimates that millions of additional people will be dragged into higher tax bands by the end of the freeze. Millions of people paying more tax without a single tax rate ever being raised. No vote in Parliament, no announcement, no headline. The government freezes the number and lets inflation do the dirty work in the dark. If you got a cost of living pay rise last year and wondered why your take-home barely moved, that is why. You were not imagining it. The second mechanism is the one I really want you to understand, because it is the closest thing the UK tax system has to a dirty secret. It is called the 60% tax trap. And if you earn, or ever plan to earn, between £100,000 and £125,000, this applies directly to you. Here is how it works. Once your income passes £100,000, the government starts taking away your personal allowance, the £12,500 you are normally allowed to earn tax-free. For every £2 you earn above 100,000, you lose £1 of allowance. Run the numbers on what that actually means. In that band between 100,000 and roughly 125,000, you are paying 40% tax on the new income and simultaneously losing allowance, which exposes more of your existing income to tax. The combined effect is a real effective tax rate of 60%. Add national insurance and it is over 62%, a higher marginal rate than anyone in the country officially pays, higher than millionaires, higher than billionaires. And it lands on doctors, senior teachers, engineers, NHS consultants, people who worked their way up to a 6-figure salary and were never once told that the system had a trapdoor built into it at exactly that level. You will not find the 60% rate printed in any HMRC table. It does not officially exist. It is simply the mathematical consequence of a rule introduced years ago and quietly never removed. That is why this video has the title it has. The system is full of mechanisms like this, entirely real, entirely deliberate, and entirely absent from the conversation. So that is the game if you play by the standard rules. Earn, get taxed, spend, get taxed again, save what survives, get taxed on that too, die, and get taxed one final time on whatever is left. By the time a single pound you earned has passed through income tax, VAT, fuel duty, stamp duty, capital gains, and inheritance tax, the government has taken 70, 80, sometimes 90 pence of it across your lifetime. Now let me show you the other game, the one the wealthy are playing. There are 3 things they do differently, and none of them are complicated. First, they do not take big salaries. The typical wealthy business owner pays themselves around £12,500 a year, right at the personal allowance. Their company might turn over millions, but their personal income on paper is almost nothing. No salary, no income tax. It is that direct. Second, they put money into assets instead of pulling it out as income. Instead of extracting cash from a business and being taxed on the extraction, they use the money, or more often, borrowed money, to buy things that appreciate: property, shares, other businesses, assets that grow in value while they sleep. Third, and this is the keystone, they do not sell. The moment you sell an asset, you create a taxable event. Capital gains tax kicks in, so they simply never sell. Instead, they borrow against the asset's value, and that unlocks the entire strategy. Buy, borrow, die. Let me walk through each stage properly. Stage 1, buy. You acquire appreciating assets, typically with leverage, a mortgage, a loan. You are using the bank's money to control an asset while your own capital stays free. Property is the classic British example, but the same logic applies to shares and businesses. Stage 2, borrow. As your asset rises in value, you refinance against the growth. And here is the critical point, the single most important sentence in this entire video. A loan is not income. You do not pay income tax on borrowed money, not a penny. A real example, you buy a property for £200,000 with a £150,000 mortgage. Over 10 years, it rises to $400,000. You refinance at 75% of the new value, a new mortgage of $300,000. You pay off the original $150,000 and you have just released £150,000 in cash into your hands. No sale, no capital gains, no income tax, because it is debt, not income. And then you take that money and do it again. Buy, appreciate, refinance, repeat. The pot grows each cycle. The tax bill stays at 0. Stage 3, die. Blunt, but it comes to all of us, and this is where the strategy completes. When you die, your assets pass to your heirs. The debt secured against those assets reduces their value for inheritance tax purposes. And with proper structuring, trusts, family investment companies, business property relief, the tax on the transfer can be dramatically reduced and in some cases removed entirely. A lifetime of accessing wealth without selling, without triggering gains, without drawing taxable income, and a transfer at death engineered to minimize what little tax remained. This is not theory. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he did not sell his Tesla shares. Selling would have triggered a colossal capital gains bill. He borrowed billions against stock he never sold. Jeff Bezos ran Amazon for years on a salary of about $80,000 while being worth over $100 billion. When he needed cash, he borrowed against shares. And closer to home, when Adele bought a £50 million house, she took out a mortgage. She could have paid cash, but paying cash means selling assets, and selling assets means capital gains tax of up to 24%, while a mortgage costs a few percent in interest. The arithmetic is not complicated. And here's the thing, the principle scales all the way down. A landlord with 2 terraced houses in Leeds is running the exact same fundamental strategy as a billionaire. Buy the asset, let it grow, borrow against the growth. Never sell. The numbers differ. The mechanics are identical. Now, one warning, the original versions of this strategy never include, and it matters more in 2026 than ever before. The rules are shifting underneath this game. From April 2027, unused pension funds are being pulled into inheritance tax for the first time. The Chancellor has capped salary sacrifice. Property taxes on high-value homes are rising from 2028. The walls are slowly closing in on some of these structures, which is exactly why the wealthy pay specialists to stay 3 steps ahead of every change, and exactly why being 5 years behind the conversation costs ordinary people real money. The strategy still works, but it now requires you to actually pay attention. Let me finish by saying something plainly. The UK tax system is not broken. It is working precisely as designed. It was built to tax labor, to tax salaries, to tax people who trade their time for money, and it does that with ruthless efficiency. What it was never built to do, by design, is tax wealth the same way. The wealthy buy assets, borrow against them, and pass them on. They do not sell. They do not create taxable events. They are not bending the rules. They are reading the rules, the same rules available to you, and actually using them. I am not telling you to dodge tax. Pay what you owe. The NHS, the schools, the roads, we all rely on them, but do not pay a penny more than the law requires, because the people with the most money in this country never ever do. Buy, borrow, die is not really a strategy. It is a way of seeing money that most people are never shown. And now that you have seen it, the way this entire system works will never look quite the same again.